In this video, I will share 18 seemingly harmless habits that disrupted my sleep for about 3 years. Changing these habits helped me restore my beauty sleep at 50 without any medication. Correcting habit number 10 really inspired me to start this YouTube channel at 50, and I hope to offer you all something before the end of this video, which I wish I had access to at the beginning of my journey to menopause. But just before I go through these 18 habits, I have to tell you briefly about how it all started, because this lack of sleep palaver was a really big deal for me. All my problems with sleep started when I turned 46. Before then, I had always been that kind of person, who drops off to sleep the moment, my head touches a pillow. Out of nowhere, I suddenly had a difficult time falling asleep, and when I did manage to fall asleep, I had a really rough time staying asleep. This went on for a couple of years. In all this time, I suffered. I was tired, I was miserable, confused, anxious. I couldn't think straight. I was highly irritable. I was forgetting everything. I was snapping at everyone, and I was making mistakes. I was also misplacing things all over the house. And of course, no one had warned me, before then, that going through perimenopause can affect your sleep cycle on many different levels. But I learned all this in menopause school when desperation pushed me to study to become a certified menopause well-being practitioner. Now, here are the 18 habits which prevented me from sleeping. Habit number 1, ignoring sleep prep. I wasn't intentional about everything that was required to guarantee me a good night's sleep. And this was because before then I hadn't had any problem sleeping. I didn't know that I had to prepare for sleep, by creating a sleep-friendly environment, making sure that my bedroom was dark enough, was quiet enough, was cool enough. And I had to make sure that there was no light showing between the chink of the curtains. And then eventually I had to start using earplugs and even sleep shades. Then all of a sudden, a shower or a bath before bedtime, to cool me down, was no longer optional. So habit number 2 was drinking coffee late in the day. So drinking caffeine, teas, and eating chocolate, dark chocolate, late in the day. I had always gotten away with this, and I thought things would continue this way. So when things began to change, I had to change as well. I found that caffeine disrupts my ability to fall asleep and also to stay asleep. So I had to cut off my caffeine, tea, and chocolate intake, by about noon to help me wind down. And now I've even stopped regular coffee. I now drink decaf. So habit number 3 is overexposure to screens before bed. Before then, I would continue being busy on my phone until it was right up to bedtime. But apparently the blue light emitted by phones, by tablets and computers interfere with melatonin production. So I had to set a curfew for anything to do with the screen to 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, and then switch to reading a book or doing something calming or having light conversations or gisting with my husband. Habit number 4 was skipping physical activity. The thing is, I used to exercise, daily for so many years, but when my perimenopause symptoms hit, I thought I was dying. I was so uncomfortable, and exercising was the last thing on my mind. You can watch my video which comes up next to understand how 45 crazy perimenopause symptoms almost ruined my life. So because everything was changing and all these crazy changes were happening everywhere at once, my brain, my mind, my mental health, my body and my emotions, I had stopped exercising, and I put on so much weight. My body was a mess, and I wasn't sleeping. Because regular exercise improves my sleep quality, but I need to try to find a balance. So habit number 5 is napping too late in the day. Short naps can be quite rejuvenating. This is difficult because, at most nights at that time I wasn't sleeping well. So of course I'll be tired throughout the day. I'll be so tempted to have a nap. But then if I now have that nap, I found out that the sleep for the next night as well is ruined. So what I had to do was to just try to stay awake the entire day and hope for a better sleep at night, and that worked. Habit number 6 is not establishing a bedtime routine. This means going to bed around the same time every night and creating like a pre-sleep routine that will signal my body that it's time to wind down. This includes relaxing activities like reading or meditation. Bedtime is not just for children. Each and every one of us needs a bedtime. So habit number 7 is a 2-in-1. Eating heavy meals before bedtime and not eating enough before bedtime. First, eating heavy meals before bed. I had this burning stomach sensation and I wanted to stop that feeling, so I used to eat late at night. At the end of the day, I'll be uncomfortable and to disrupt my sleep. Now I try to finish eating like 2 to 3 hours before sleep or more. Then secondly, eating my last meal too early in the day. I sometimes eat really early as part of intermittent fasting, which can be so beneficial for weight loss management at this time of our lives. I then sometimes sleep really late. So just about the time I'm about to go to sleep, I find out that I'm really hungry, and that's a big problem. So because when I eat, I can't sleep. I have an earlier video about sustainable weight loss, which you'll see at the end of this video. Habit number 8, neglecting menopause symptoms. So I've had almost 60 symptoms, and it wasn't until I found, like personalized, or should I say customized ways to solve these problems that I was now able to get enough sleep. I also know that depression and anxiety can affect your sleep. Habit number 9 is not being intentional about relaxation techniques to help me sleep. I found that I had to incorporate practices like deep breathing. I found a deep breathing kind of like exercise on my smartwatch. It tells you when to keep breathing in and when to breathe out, and it helped me calm my mind before I sleep. So silent prayer in bed also works. When I can't sleep or when I wake up and I can't relax, I just lie down in bed and I start praying. I'm not talking out loud. I'm praying for everybody in my neighborhood, and by the time I get to the people down the street, I've fallen asleep. So habit number 10, or should I say scenario number 10, is not seeking and finding support. In my case, I search for answers, for comfort, for empathy. I search high and I search low, but nobody could offer me anything, not even information or comfort. Not having anybody to talk to about what you're experiencing is quite tough. If your menopause symptoms are mild or they last just a few months, then you're good. You might not even notice that anything is happening. But if your symptoms are severe, like mine, you need help. You can't go through this experience on your own. Don't hesitate to reach out to friends, to family, or online communities for support. A problem shared is a problem solved, or a problem halved. Sharing your experience can provide comfort, and new strategies to help you cope. What I have learned is that for so many women, just knowing that you're not crazy, you're not dying, you've not been bewitched, it's not your village people, and you're not alone, is all we need. And then we begin to cope and feel so much better. Only women who are going through the transition, who have moderate or severe symptoms, can actually relate, to what you're going through. People who have mild symptoms or people who haven't started their menopause journey will just be looking at you as if you are going crazy. After all, many doctors are looking at women who come complaining like they're just whining over nothing. I even heard somewhere that doctors even have a code to describe us. It's WW, whining woman. All I can say is let's try to forgive these doctors for being ignorant about all things menopause. Still on the habit of, getting support, I have good news. I am in the process of starting a menopause support group. where women who are menopausal, can get support and encouragement from other women. At this time, it's free of charge to join, and it's open to subscribers on this channel or followers on my other social media pages. If you're interested in joining this support group, then enter the word support in the comments and I will tell you how you can join. It's going to be phenomenal and it will help so many women heal. Habit number 11, drinking water late at night. The backstory to this is that I don't like drinking water. It's tasteless. I have a sweet tooth. But if I don't drink enough water, I will get this horrible cramp in my calf in the middle of the night. When that happens, the only thing that would ease this horrible cramp is drinking lots of water. I had this cramp last night for the first time in 2 years because I was out all day and I forgot to monitor how much water I was drinking. The pain is excruciating. I've always wanted to know if I'm the only one who experiences this, but I have never heard anyone else talk about it. If you get this cramp in your calf at night, please leave a comment for me below. So when it comes to my water intake, I usually have two unintended outcomes. It's either I stay up late trying to finish the water I should have drunk all day, or I go to sleep like that and then I get the cramp, which keeps me up. At the end of the day, there's no sleep either way. So I had to learn to start drinking earlier in the day and then emptying my bladder, like 3 times before bedtime, assuming I haven't drank enough water earlier in the day. Habit number 12 is checking my phone or the time when I wake up to use the bathroom, because apparently, when you check your phone, you start calculating, you mean I've only been asleep for 1 hour, right? And then that gets your brain moving and then you're already awake. Habit number 13 is talking when I wake up. I have learned that when I wake up at night to use the bathroom, I must not speak. I must keep quiet. I must just quietly go to the bathroom and come out. If anybody speaks to me, I'm not to answer, because if I respond, then my brain starts working again and all chances or all hopes of sleep are lost. So I've learned to go to the bathroom in zombie mood. No matter what I see, no matter who asks me any question, I don't answer. I just go and lie down and pretend I didn't hear anybody. I just try to make sure my mind doesn't process it. Habit number 14 is turning the lights in the bathroom on anytime I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That also doesn't work. The light comes on, you start seeing things, you start thinking, oh, this place needs cleaning, or what do I do tomorrow? So I've learned to leave the lights off as well. Habit number 15 is doing my expected expenditure at night. It's not a good idea. Money and bills on your mind before you go to bed is sure to lead you to no sleep. With the global inflation and the state of economy, I think that can chase your sleep away for about 2 weeks. Habit number 16 is drinking alcohol late in the evening. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. I hardly do, but even a sip is a problem. I found that my body processes alcohol differently now that I'm older. So if I have a sip of alcohol, first of all, I start smiling, I am bubbly, I feel all warm inside, then I feel sleepy. But the problem with that is that the moment my head now touches the pillow when I go to bed, I just find that I'm waking up. One moment is 10:30, then I think I've slept again, it's 11:45, and on that happens all throughout the night. So there's no way you will find alcohol and menopause in the same sentence, except is to say menopausal women should not drink alcohol. It's not advisable. So habit number 17 is nutrition. I used to think that I could get all the help I needed in terms of my nutrition and sleep from supplements in a bottle, like melatonin and magnesium glycinate. And those worked a bit until they stopped working. And then they had no effect whatsoever. So I learned to get my vitamins and minerals primarily from food that I ate. So I had to be really intentional about my diet. I learned from menopause school that magnesium is important for promoting a calm, sleepy feeling and regulating our body clock. And I know we can find those in dark leafy vegetables like spinach, in nuts and seeds like pumpkin seeds, almonds, cashews and pecans, seeds like flax and chia. I love nuts and seeds. I try to have them every day with my parfait. Fish also is full of omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin D. Fish like mackerel and sardines and tuna, at least once a week, also do really good. Legumes are nutrient rich and contain lots of natural fiber, vitamins and minerals, and also amino acids, so we should eat more beans. Avocado is packed full of multivitamins and healthy nutrients. I happen to love avocado. Also, bananas are full of bone strengthening, potassium, fiber and vitamin C. Then dark chocolate, if it's got at least 70% cocoa. I also learned that oats, brown rice, eggs, salmon, chicken and lettuce. Soy is also one thing that is also good and helps. Habit number 18 is being the last person to go to sleep. Apparently we all snore, and whoever goes to bed first begins to snore first. So if you do not go to bed first and your partner goes to bed first and starts snoring, then that's going to keep you up. So now you know that by avoiding these 18 habits, you can reclaim your restful night's sleep. Remember that you're not alone in this journey. Watch this video to find out what my 45 most severe symptoms were, which kept me from sleeping in the first place. Take good care of yourself. Remember to be your sister's keeper. I'll see you soon.